Hi folks, this is Vicki at patternprincess.com. Today I wanted to show you, I'm actually in the process of working on this really pretty shawl. This shawl is worked from the bottom up, and it's shell stitches across, and there's a repeat of 2 rows. Once you get those 2 rows down, I can really go to town with this. It's just a beautiful shawl. And then every other row, the shell stitch increases by 1. So here we start with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then it continues on. This is I'm going to be making this out of just one cake of yarn, and this is the yarn right here. So I think this would be so pretty. And remember, when you start with a yarn cake, I started with the inside, which was white. Kind of whatever you start with is going to be the majority of the color because you have more rows of the color. If I would have started with the gray, it would be a little bit more gray looking than it's going to be pink and white looking. But since I'm hoping spring is around the corner, it's January here right now, and you know, I'm already thinking spring. So I thought, you know, geez, I just want to show a little bit more of the white and the pink off, and just have it a little bit more feminine looking, especially because this yarn, as you can tell, it's very small. It's a very small yarn. And this is actually a Yarn Bee Rainbow Rhapsody, the Slate Divide it's called. Let me see here. It's 918 yards. I am using a 3.5 millimeter hook. It says E4 to 3.5 millimeter. So it's a very small hook. And I'm just going to go until I'm out of this yarn cake, but I'm working out of the middle. But let me show you. You can already see how it's starting. The pinks are starting to come in here. It is just so pretty. Okay, I had to kind of get set up here so I could show you. And I'm showing you right on the shawl here. I hope that you can see, because this is a very delicate, delicate yarn. But I just wanted to show you how this is to work. So I'm going to do a chain 3, 1, 2, 3. Yarn over and complete a double crochet right in that same stitch. So right in that very first stitch, we're going to do a double crochet. Then we're going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3. And then the previous row, I had done the fan stitch, the shell stitch is a 5 double crochet. So this part here, this part right here, you don't count. Let me take my hook out here and show you. This part here, I'm not going to count because that's the previous row chain spaces that we're going to do now. This is the chain space row. So right here, each shell is made out of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 double crochets. So in that middle double crochet, we're going to do a single crochet, okay? So I just wanted to make sure I pointed that out to you before I just did it because it might be too hard to see. Okay, so I've done my 3 chains. So now I got my yarn a little bit loose. It's all right. So in that middle double crochet, I'm going to just do a single crochet. Then I'm going to chain 3. So this row is super easy. 2, 3. Now I'm going to skip all of this over here, all of this, and there's a previous chain 3 spot right here. I'm going to go over here and just do a single crochet. And I'll have all of this detailed more in the written pattern too, that's in the comment section. Detail section. 2, 3, chain 3. And again, in the middle of the previous shell stitch, we're going to single crochet. But that way you'll see, hopefully between the written pattern and this demonstration, you'll be able to do this pattern. I hope that you do. Okay, so that was your single crochet there. Then 1, 2, 3. 3 chains again. We're going to skip the other 2 double crochets. We're going to skip this single crochet, and then right in this chain 3 space, we're going to single crochet. And then again, same, it's just a repeat. Chain 3, go in the top fan or the top shell there, that middle of it, and single crochet, chain 3, skip the other 2 double crochet and the single crochet, and then in this space here, single crochet. So this is all I do all the way across. 1, 2, 3. So hopefully it's starting to make sense to you now. And I got to look, 1, 2, 3, here's my spot. And then 1, 2, 3. And my stitch just got pulled a little bit tight here. Let me pull that back out. There we go. 3. And then right here, in this spot here, we're going to single crochet. So I'm going to do this all the way across, and we're going to end with 2 double crochet in the last stitch. So I'm going to go ahead and work this, and then I'll meet you on the other side if you happen to be working on this pattern. But then I'll show you how to work the shell stitch side. And then those are the only 2 rows that we have to worry about for this entire shawl, and it is just beautiful. So even though it's a thin yarn, it's really easy to work this. It really is. I didn't know if I could really work decently with a little bit smaller yarn, but gosh, when you pair it with a pattern like this, it's pretty nice. See how easy this goes along? Of course, it doesn't ever seem to be as easy as when I have it sitting in my lap and I'm watching TV and just, you kind of get in your zone. But as you can see, this goes along nicely. And so we're doing our little spots here that we're going to use for our shells. So I'm going to go all the way, so I have quite a bit to go. So I'm going to go all the way over here. And then I'm going to do 2 double crochet in that last stitch. And then I'm going to show you the next row. Okay, I am just coming to the end of my row. I just did my last single crochet on top of the middle stitch of the shell below. And now I'm going to work 1, 2, 3 chain stitches yet, yarn over, and in the top stitch of the previous row, chain 3, I am going to work 2 double crochets, because then this will match what's on the other side. The other side I started with 3 double crochet, or 3 chain stitches and a double crochet. And I'm going to bring that back here. So I had started with a chain 3, a double crochet, then a chain 3, and a single crochet into the top middle part of the shell stitch. I skipped over 2 double crochets and then a single crochet, and then I did a single crochet into the previous row chain 3 space. Okay, I had done the chain 3, so I did this all the way across. I kept repeating this, and so I ended here now with my single crochet, chain 3, single crochet, chain 3, and then the double crochet and a double crochet. So now I'm going to turn it. So that's the first row that you repeat. So now we're going to do the shell stitch row, and it's a combination of the shell stitch and then a chain 3 in between each shell stitch. All right, so we're going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3. Then right in that first stitch again, we're going to do 4 more double crochets. So here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. The first chain 3 counts as a double crochet, so this here is your shell stitch. So in this chain 3 space, we're going to do a single crochet. So now once we've done our single crochet in the previous row chain 3 space, if you see where right here, this was the row before that shell stitch. So every time that you have the shell stitch single crochet, we're just going to do a chain 3. Sometimes I get going, I've noticed on the shawl, and I accidentally do a couple shell stitches in a row, and then I realize, oops, I forgot to do my chain 3. Okay, so we're going to do, right now then, we're going to do our chain 3. Okay, my dog was making noise, I'm sorry. So you don't do anything in this single crochet. We go over to this chain 3 space here, and we're going to do a single crochet in that first chain 3 space. Okay. Now, this here is in between 2 shell stitches. See that? This chain 3 space, and then we did that single crochet. So we're going to just yarn over, and in this single crochet space, we're going to do 5 double crochets. So we're going to create a shell stitch. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then I'm going to untangle my yarn. In this chain 3 space, we're just going to single crochet. Okay, let me just stop a moment and show you where we are. So you see we did a shell stitch, then we have chains in the middle of the shell stitch where we did a single crochet into the top, and then we did a shell stitch. Okay, so each time we're going to do a shell stitch, chain stitches, shell stitch. That's going to be this entire row. So because below us is that shell. So now we're going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3. And then over into this chain 3 space, we're going to single crochet. And then we're going to yarn over, because now remember we're in between those 2 shell stitches. There's that single crochet. We're going to do our shell stitch. So here's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we just simply single crochet right in this chain space, chain 3 space. And then again, here's that shell stitch. So now we just chain 3, 1, 2, 3. Isn't this a simple pattern? And then we single crochet here. And then guess what? We're in the middle. So it's another shell stitch now. So hopefully this is starting to make sense. I'm going to work this all the way across. I just think it makes a beautiful pattern, and it's so light and delicate, but yet because it's kind of easy to, I gotta count 1, 2, 3, 4, okay. Because it's just a repetitive 2 rows, and to me there isn't a lot of detail in between it. It just makes it very easy to work this pattern. And I did not get my 3 chains, there we go. And then I'm going to single crochet in here. So I'm going to continue to work this all the way across. When you get to the other side, over here, I'll probably stop right about here, and I'll make sure that you know how to end the row. And then I'll start the next row, which is your chain stitches again, so that you'll start to see it's just a repeat of these 2 rows. So I'm going to meet you right back over here. Okay, I'm just about to the end of the row here, and I just did my chain 3 over the shell stitch here, and then I did my single crochet in the previous row chain 3 space, and then I have my single crochet, which I'm going to do a shell stitch. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 double crochets. Then I'm going to do my single crochet here in that previous row chain 3, and then because this is over that shell stitch, we're going to do a chain 3. 1, 2, 3. So just like you did the entire pattern. Then we're going to single crochet. This is a chain 3 space, remember, and then we had our 2 double crochets in that previous row. So we're going to single crochet right here. Okay. And then right in the very top chain of the initial chain 3 of the first, what stitches that counted as a double crochet, we're going to do a shell stitch. So we're going to do 5 double crochets. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Make that loop a little bit bigger. So as you can see, so we have a shell, and then a chain 3, shell, chain 3, shell, chain 3, and then in between each we got the single crochets. So this is all the way across. All the way across. And of course, you know, you can see that the yarn is going from the white and at the pink, and I'm going to go to a darker pink, and then eventually to a gray. I think this is going to be so pretty. And this is work from the bottom up, so I think it's going to be a nice size shawl. But as I'm making this with this lighter yarn, I just keep thinking, my gosh, this would be such a pretty, pretty lacy tablecloth that, I don't know, I might have to do something like that next. So this is how this looks. This is how it's growing in the row, okay? So now my next row is that chain row. So the next row, you do the chain 3, which counts as a double crochet. and then a double crochet in the same space. So again, 1, 2, 3. This is a repeat of the row before our shell stitches. And then we do our double crochet right here. And then we do our chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and then in that top, the middle stitch, so remember we don't count that chain 3 space, we count our double crochet. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this right here is where we do our single crochet, and then we chain 3, and then we skip 2 double crochet, and we skip the single crochet, and we do our single crochet here. So I'll repeat this all the way across this row, and then I come back in the next row and do my shell stitch and my chain 3 stitch and my single crochets in between. So it's just a very nice pattern, and with beautiful results to be able to work while I'm with my family, watching TV, talking, doing whatever. The biggest thing is I have to count my double crochets for my shell stitch, and that can be kind of hard sometimes, because sometimes even as I'm talking to you, I can't hardly count what I'm doing. So there we go. I'm going to continue working this. I hope that you have enjoyed this tutorial, and I hope that this has inspired you to make one for yourself too. And I will have, again, those written directions on the website. Please make sure that you check it out, and remember to like, share, and subscribe. Thank you very much.